Yeah. This just in, you were looking at some obviously very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed.
As we come on now, we have serious news of a major, very tragic event for you right now. Incredible plane crashed into the World Trade Center.
I just heard a loud boom.
14-year-old high school student arrested for bringing a homemade clock to school. His teacher thought the device was a bomb. The backlash to his arrest was swift online. The hashtag #IStandWithAhmed quickly becoming a top trend, with responses from Silicon Valley to the White House. Ahmed Mohammed, he's going to join us in just a moment. First, ABC's Ryan Owens has his story.
This high school freshman loves to tinker with all things electronic, but his latest invention got the 14-year-old hauled in handcuffs to the police station in Irving, Texas. Take a look at his homemade digital clock, a maze of wires and circuit boards inside a metal case. He built it at home to impress his teachers, but one of them thought it might be a bomb and alerted authorities.
That's a very suspicious device. We live in an age where you can't take things like that to schools.
But arresting a 14-year-old?
I think this wouldn't even be a question if his name wasn't Ahmed Mohammed.
About 110 stories tall, it appears that an airplane has hit the building somewhere around the 85th floor. There's a lot of smoke coming out.
And when I realized that it wasn't a dream, I got ready and I sped to work.
The rush to work for Hatem Abudea was rooted in fear.
We really had no idea what was happening. It was a terrifying day and a terrifying experience.
Hatem is Arab American. He grew up on Chicago's North Side, went to Catholic school as a kid and public school as a teenager. On 9/11, he was managing the Arab American Action Center in Chicago Lawn.
If I remember correctly, it became pretty clear pretty quickly that the U.S. government believed that it was Al-Qaeda and that it was Osama bin Laden, and made the connection to them being Saudis, and immediately then we knew like it was probably perpetrated by Arabs, and if that's the case, then it's the Arab community and the Muslim community that's going to bear the brunt.
Feeling of fear was unmistakable.
Students in my class who feel that they don't even want to go out because they've been verbally attacked.
Hatem got a call. The community center was on fire.
I walked in the door here and there's firefighters all over the place. There's holes in the ceilings. I immediately thought arson.
Across the U.S., hate crimes against Arabs and Muslims spiked significantly following the September 11th attacks. In 2000, the FBI reported 80 hate crimes. In 2001, 860.
Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Ahmed. I'm Leena's brother. So pretty much growing up in middle school and high school, I always got made fun of because of my name, Ahmed. I always got called Ahmed. It's just because of my name being different or hard to pronounce. One big thing when growing up was that I always got compared to like Ahmed the terrorist. I'm not sure if you remember that Jeff Dunham puppet. I think a whole lot of like why people like I got made fun of is just because like of the stereotypes people see in the media. You have like the puppet, which I love by the way, but I just hate people making the comparison. But it's just that not a lot of people like understand the culture, so it's been kind of like an uphill battle pretty much, but it is what it is. But besides that, over time, I just kind of got adjusted and used to it. And eventually just kind of learned how to roll with the punches, as they say. But besides that, nothing too major. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, my name is Leena Rahman. I'm Leena Rahman's mom.
Okay, what's your experience Post 9/11.
Post 9/11, I don't know. A lot of racism toward us, not especially to me. I think a lot of our family members had a lot of some anger and some hostility toward them, especially the ones that wore hijab.
Can you tell me like any incidents that happened to you or anyone you know post 9/11?
One incident happened to my sister-in-law. Her and her mom went shopping out like at a Walmart or a grocery store, and this was like immediately after, maybe a couple days after 9/11, and where they were shopping, they were wearing hijab, and I guess some people saw them, and they were speaking, of course, Arabic, and they tried to follow them, chase them, and try to pull the hijab off of them, and it scared them so much they were afraid to even go outside. Weeks and months that passed after that, we saw so much anger and so much hatred and so much stuff happening. You hear stories on the news about people going after all the Muslims and going after the mosques, and just a lot of anger and it was just too much. Oh, we just spoke English. We didn't speak any Arabic anywhere for fear that just hearing a different language, a foreign language, people would assume just bad things. And then there was another time they were being chased around by people in cars that were chasing them, trying to find out where they lived. It was a scary time, honestly, especially when you're wearing the hijab was even more scarier. I don't wear it, so it kind of blended in. And the only time they kind of noticed us is because sometimes I go with my mother-in-law and she wore a hijab. And I remember during that time, a lot of people were contemplating taking it off just for safety because they were so scared. And they didn't feel protected by law enforcement here. And they didn't know who they were supposed to turn to for help or to minimize the anger. And a lot of businesses, people that had businesses that were Muslim and that people knew. I remember one time, I think your dad, there was a lot of people that were angry, and people that didn't know your dad, that they knew he was Muslim, but they're like, no. But there were still some good people that actually did stand up and said, hey, there are some good Muslims. You can't label everybody like that. But the problem is after 9/11, there was so much we didn't know. But people, of course, just assumed they knew, and they want to take it out on somebody, and they used a lot of the Muslims and Arabs as their scapegoat, which is kind of sad.
What's your name?
My name is Mohammed Rahman.
Okay, and what's your experience post 9/11?
After post 9/11, the whole world changed. They racially profile me wherever I go. If my name is Mohammed, I get pulled over to secondary, I get questioned. So it's not what it is.
Yeah, and what's your experience at the airport like?
At the airport, sometimes they pull me over to the side, they tell me I'm on a no-fly, whatever, and then they come back, they delay my flights, I miss my flights, and they have it all wrong.
Yeah, and have you had any experiences like outside in the public when you're like walking? Has anyone ever like discriminated you there?
They racially profile you. They always ask where you're from.
Yeah. Do they make any like racist jokes with you about 9/11?
Sometimes 7/11 or 9/11.
Yeah. All right, that's all. Thank you.